What a sight. Mount Panorama on Saturday at the Super Cheap Auto Bathurst 1000. It's the Vodka Australian GT Championship. This race is a timed race. We're on lap 9 at the moment. Tony Quinn is your leader going through shot. There's Clark Quinn, his son. Then David Hall in third. James Konduras in fourth. Max Twigg is in fifth. And this fight, David Ram, has just been going on, but David Hall just hasn't got enough to get by this Mosler.
No, not quite at the moment. I mean, you can see the lap times are getting faster and faster as the fuel loads come up. Sometimes that can change the balance of the car, and all of a sudden you get one a little bit quicker than the other. So it'll be interesting to see as the race unfolds what happens.
And time's ticking because on the race clock it's just under 6.5 minutes left to go. So probably about 3 laps of racing that we should get in before the checkered flag, obviously without safety cars and the like. I hope I haven't put the curse in that there. But David Hall is the reigning champion. In fact, we've had a different champion pretty much every year in the GT Championship since it was born out of the old Nations Cup, which you remember from the Pro Car days and the 24-hour races. Yeah. We've seen Porsches, Vipers, Ferraris, Lamborghinis win, so there hasn't been really one dominant car or one dominant driver, which is great news for the championship.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, it gives everybody a shot, doesn't it? And a bit of variety for the fans as well.
We jump on board again with Dean Grant looking back at Theo Konduras. I think he was flat there too.
Yeah, it sounded like it, didn't he?
Oh, well, we can't give him rubbish about that later. That was very, very handy. But Theo Konduras is closing in. Clark Quinn's fastest to the second split and, in fact, takes 2/10 away from Tony Quinn that time. But the margin is still 1.7 seconds, just over 5 minutes to go in this second race for the GT cars. Now, tell me quickly, what's in the plans for David Brabham next year? Another season with the Highcroft team in the American Le Mans Series?
It's a good question. It's a situation is this. We're sort of now at the end of the program that we've been running the last 4 years. And the team are now looking at a new program for the future. So, you know, we need to make sure that everything's lined up and signed off before the end of the year so we can sort of get going again.
Maybe a change of category?
No, I don't think so. I still want to be in the category that I am in, and obviously, you know, one of our goals as a team is to go to Le Mans and win as well.
This is not the goal. Andrew McPherson's got the Mosler off through the sand. We just had a quick shot before of the production battle. Paul Freestone in the Corvette leading the way from Mark O'Connor in the Lotus, and you know what I said about that safety car?
Yes, I was just thinking that actually.
My bad.
Because that wouldn't be your fault, would it?
Well, I wasn't driving the Mosler, so
no.
I'm okay. Here's Paul Freestone, 12th overall. This is a great fight. Two totally different cars here. David and Goliath.
There's a Corvette.
A Corvette versus a little Lotus.
Yeah.
And that Lotus is really wound up, though. It's a rocket across the top of the mountain.
It must be so beautifully handling up the top there.
And it's the only car in the GT field that's running on the E85 fuel.
Okay.
Which is something a little bit different. It's obviously the norm for V8 supercar racing.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Corvettes, that is a great sounding car. We'd love to see one of the GT3 versions in the outright contender class of this series.
Yeah, I've seen Corvette racing over the years, and that's such a great car, and they know exactly what to do in terms of building a race car that's strong, reliable. And I haven't actually raced one, but I know a lot of people who have, and they say it's a great car to drive.
Even better when you beat them in an Aston at Le Mans?
It's very sweet when that happens, believe me, because they are so tough. I mean, the vets and also Pratt and Miller, who run the organisation, and you know, when you've beaten those guys at Le Mans, you've done a good job.
Looking back through the field, there's Kevin Weeks in the Lamborghini Gallardo from South Australia, 8th overall. Mark Eddy behind in that fantastic Audi, which is new this year to Australia, the Audi R8 LMS. The only one of its kind in the country is Mark Sini in 10th overall, and Peter Hackett, who started 26th on the grid, desperately trying to earn back some more points in the Vodka Lamborghini, stay in this championship fight. This is what happened earlier on in the day, outside of Max Twigg.
Oh, he was so lucky.
Greg Crick nearly got involved.
Just took a little paint off, and that's about it.
And that was this morning, and they've managed to get that car back into the race. Only minor damage there from the rear of the grid. Peter's, in fact, the chief driving instructor for Mercedes-Benz here in Australia, and does a lot of drive day stuff. So occasionally gets to do some racing. Probably does more driving in terms of driver training than racing. But when he gets behind the wheel, is very much on the pace. And this, our slow-mo shot on the Vodka replay, really tells the story. Look at the way that car rides across McPhillamy Park.
That's a great shot, isn't it? Slow motion like that really captures exactly what the car is doing.
This is Dean Grant, and he's closed in across the top of the mountain on the clock. 1 minute 50 to go. We'll get another run war. Max Twigg.
There's a chance here.
Now, in years gone by, that was sand, you might remember.
Yes.
It's all been turned into asphalt now, so you can get away there with a bit of a mistake.
Yeah, I think that was important because there's enough space there to recover, get the car off the wall and get back on the track, where before, once you got on that gravel, that was it.
Tony Quinn has edged away. He's got the margin to 3 seconds, so this is where the fight is for 5th place. We're looking at Max Twigg in the Trulot Porsche. He's had a very, very good season, a few dramas, but his pace has been very, very good. Down to the chase. There will be one more lap of racing, this time by Theo Kondouris is going with them as well.
Couple of different lines, you know.
Didn't work though for Grant.
He's got a bit of a run on him now.
Down the inside, so the chances of taking 5th place are gone because he's back to 7th on this last run. Back up the mountain, Tony Quinn just ran the fastest lap of the race, 2 minute 11.99, which is still nearly 2 seconds away from the lap record that he set in that car last year. But I don't think Dean Grant's done with just yet.
No, I think there's something going to happen here. You can just see it.
And being so close to the car in front, particularly when you get to the likes of Reed Park, takes away your reference markers for turn-ins of the line.
Yeah, it does. But you can see that the car in front's just making a few mistakes. You can sense the pressure starting to build. Let's just hope he just keeps it going. But you can just see just missing the apex and trying to protect his line a little bit. And he's looking more in the mirrors than he is at the front.
And there's just nowhere to overtake here, even if you do get a really good run. Talk about good runs. The Aston Martin has been hooked up and Tony Quinn has driven away.
Yeah, he's driven very well. And just, I love the sound of the Aston Martin as well. I mean, just that high-pitched scream, just fantastic.
He's on his way home. It's the last lap for the GT cars. Clark Quinn has done enough at the moment. It'll take something pretty special from David Wall, but he's got to think championship too. His main contender, Peter Hackett, is a long way back in 10th, so he's going to come out well in front with an extended points margin, so it's still a good day.
Yeah, no, at the end of the day, that's what you want to do. You want to be winning the championship, and he'll be managing that right now.
Tony Quinn, last corner, race 2 for the Vodka Australian GT Championship, and he will take a clean sweep. 2 wins so far this weekend. Does it in style. And it's a family 1-2.
Yeah,
Son
fantastic.
Clark gets home in 2nd. And David Wall is 3rd. Here's James Kondouris from Canberra in the Superbarn Supermarkets Porsche. Runs home in 4th. So the Porsches were strong again. No surprise really, but Aston Martin is the car to have at the moment.
It certainly is at the moment. That was a very strong performance, and I saw earlier how strong it was as well.
Dean Grant, who we rode on board with, ended up in 7th. Mark Eddy, there he is. That fantastic Audi. Home in 8th. Kevin Weeks 9th. And there's Peter Hackett. So he gets some points in 10th, but that makes his championship chances really, really difficult from here on in. Paul Freestone takes production. There's the results to recap. All the best for the rest of the weekend, Brabs. Great to have you here.
Great, thank you for having me.
Big one here at the mountain. But Quinn's 1 and 2. A big day still ahead here on the mountain.